Hey boys and girls, welcome to another video. Just continuing on with the welding this one. If you've watched the last one, you'll see me make the repair panel. So we're just going to get that welded in. I haven't shown you the start of it, mainly because it's two hands, just fettling everything and make sure it fits lovely. But essentially, it's all tacked in, under here, tacked in. Fitment's pretty good. Pretty happy with all of that, if I'm honest. So I had to make some adjustments. Once it's in place and you start getting some tacks, and then you can tweak it and adjust it as you need to, using the slitting disc just to open up some gaps if it's a bit tight on some of the edges. So that's what we've done. So that's all tacked in all around, and now I can seam weld all of that. So I'll set up the time lapse to begin with and get this seam welded in. Right, with my limited filming equipment, that's probably all I'm going to be able to show you, because I need to get up in there now and finish off. So anyway, that's that bit time lapse. You can see you can smash through that pretty quickly as long as your gaps are nice and tight on the panel. So I've just got to run the rest of the weld on that front piece. There's a couple of spot welds to do on a return up there, that will be from the outside, and then this run here. Right, sorted. That's our floor now welded in. So pretty happy with that. A few welds to tidy up in places. Obviously I'm no pro welder, but can do a reasonable job. So we need to get the flap wheel on some of that just to tidy it up a bit. Anyway, that's in. So this is now all lovely and solid. You can kind of see the gist of how this inner sill section works. So this is all joined up to here. This is the return for our wing. Next stage for this is we're going to build this jacking point down and then add a bit of bracing side to side to stop it moving, and then we can put our final outer sill section on. So that's all pretty good, happy with that. All welded under here, and then the last piece of the puzzle will be to add this. However, upon inspection, since laying under here, hang on, let me get a device to hit things with. Upon inspection, you can see obviously all of this is still in bare metal because I haven't finished. I've got a lot of stuff still to clean up. But if you look at this inner sill, you can kind of see where there's some bits that are a bit grotty. You've got that's a bit frilly. There's a bit of a hole there on this outer section. A bit of bubbling up. Bit more than a bit of bubbling up here and here. But since laying underneath it in the last week or so, a couple of weeks, I'm like, that's definitely moved up quite a bit. Anyway, so I sort of lightly touched it with a hammer, and you can guess what happened next. So apparently all of this is basically non-existent. I think it's pretty much been held together with underseal, because there's no metal left there. So I guess the rust repairs are going to continue. That's pretty shot, right? It looks like it's had a repair here, so I'm guessing they've plated over the jacking point, and then the rust has just carried on doing what rust does, which is festers and goes manky. So I think it's going to need this whole section cutting out, because it's bleeding up to here, and quite a bit there. And then obviously this inner floor section, it's going to need to go to there. I have had a good look down the sill, which I'll show you now. You can see there's quite a little bit festering. The inner sill looks mostly okay, but there's a bit festering in there. So I think realistically what I'd be better off doing is removing this whole outer seal, because obviously it's all shot here. I think all of this needs to come out, and then to be honest with you, by the time I've cut to there, I've got a bit of blister in here, here. So I think this whole outer seal really needs to come off, which is fine, it needs to be done. Realistically it's not that great under there, so I think that's probably the next job. I mean, looking under here, this floor looks a bit grotty in places, but I really want to avoid getting in there and taking the tank and subframe out at this stage. It's not something I want to do with this car. So I think best thing to do is do a full repair, proper repair on this outer seal. So let's get that pulled off at a later date, or in the near future, but at some point. And it'd be nice just to complete this whole seal, get this side finished. So as much as I really didn't want to touch any other jacking points, I think it's just got to be done. There's no way I can leave. Well, there's no way that's going to pass an MOT, and there's no way I can like not do that. It obviously needs doing, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So I haven't dug in the other side too much yet. It doesn't look like there's any massive holes. I'm sure it's probably on its way, but clearly that needs doing. Someone's chucked fucking seam sealer and all sorts of crap over it. So yeah, that's going to be the next challenge. Well, not really a challenge, it's just more shit. So yeah, but where it's been so cold this week, if you live in the UK, you'll know it's been like -5, something like that. So my workshop's pretty chilly. My little office is all right when I'm working in there. It's no problem. I've got a diesel heater, but out here it's far too cold to be laying on the floor welding. I haven't got a space heater, and I basically have a shed. So that's sort of on the back burner. It looks like it's warming up after this weekend, back to about 10-11 degrees outside. So we'll get some progress on with it next week. What I've been doing in the meantime is keep myself busy with other stuff. Lots of other bits and pieces that I do, extended toe brackets, and my polo, red polo this time. If you remember in the earlier videos, I had a silver polo, which I was originally going to break and put into the engine to my Mark 1 Golf, but upon speaking to a mapper, the ECU has a bit of an issue where it wants a speed signal from the gearbox, otherwise the engine will go into limp mode, and it will only pull it from the ABS sensor, or ABS system, sorry. And there's no switch in the ECU to tell it to pull it from the gearbox speed sensor instead. So upon recommendation from the guy who is going to map the ECU, he said you'd be better off getting an early Polo TDI, here she is, with a slightly earlier ECU, which I think it's an ED14, something like that. The engine's basically the same, couple of different bits, different turbo, but the foundations are all there. So we're going to rip this out, or I've started today, so it's nearly ready to come out. So get that done. It's much more fun working on cars when you're stood up and not laid on the floor, because when you're laid on the floor, the wind gets up, yeah, it's freezing. And for those who work outside or inside, you know this time of year is horrible at the best of times. So yeah, I'm keeping myself busy. I need this car out of the way, it's kind of in my way now. So yeah, we're getting this pulled apart. I've also been working on my friend's M10. This is going into a BMW E30, which might be on the channel soon. So that's getting a full rebuild. That's it stripped down there, the head's off for work. And we've just ordered up a whole load of parts. So you might see a bit of that on the channel in the coming weeks. I might do an engine rebuild video, so you might see a bit of that. And you will probably see me do the engine swap into the 30. It's a light for light, nothing too exciting, but we're going to clean the bay and obviously prep the engine so it looks pretty, give it a paint, etc, etc. So, but yeah, thank you for staying tuned and being patient. We will get some more progress on this heap of crap soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. One thing I'm not sure of is, should I just cut and blend this panel here? Those of you who've done fabrication before, should I cut above the rot, so say here, and then weld this in, or do I go further up and hide it behind this joint? Obviously the metal behind it I assume is good, but the metal up to here is good. So generally I think you don't want to disturb anything unnecessarily, but equally if you can hide your weld or hide the join, then that's probably preferable, because then you haven't got to put so much filler into the body. I mean, to the trained eye you probably see it, but anyway, let me know what you think, because I'm not an expert on this. So if you've done some stuff before, let me know where you've had success. And then I've got a few opinions as to which way to go. So yeah, anyway, that's enough of me raving and ranting for now for 10 minutes. But yeah, thank you for watching. We will make some more progress soon. It's that cold. Right, peace out guys.